Hello, hello, hello. There's something top of mind that I want to come and talk to not only just my women veterans, but veterans in general. And if this is applicable or if this resonates with you, I hope that you look at this video until the end. Well, I'm not sure who, if you know who I am, but my name is Charmin Jacobs, and I am a retired lieutenant commander. I served in the military for 22 years, 5 months, 7 days. And one of the positions, or at least my last position that I held while I served in the military, was the deputy diversity officer. And I came in the military in the early 1900s, 1990s, right after the Gulf War. And I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was 19 when I came in. I was 42 when I retired. Well, along the way, I would always share my life experiences, and I call them teachable moments. And I came across, and I always am open and cheerful and giving of any advice that I think will help. So I, just got in commission, went to graduate school, and my first duty station out of graduate school was Okinawa, Japan. And during this time that I served, I had the opportunity to be the administrative support department head. And in that position, I was in charge of incoming and outgoing personnel. So I knew what kind of talent was coming in as it relates to all enlisted, and I knew what kind of talents were, and then those that were leaving. So, and I knew the billets as well. So I was a manpower subspecialty is what I gained in that position. So I knew that we didn't need two nuclear medicine techs because that's not what the command was billeted for. And there was one coming on board. And when he came on board, he was a sharp sailor, and sharp in uniform, sharp in mind. His energy it resonates. So I wanted him to work for me as my leading petty officer. However, he didn't want to work for me as much as I tried to get him to work for me. His desire was to be a physician assistant. So one of the things that I did is I assigned him to family practice under the of a good senior chief, master chief, retired. Can't think of his name right now, but anyway, and he did well. So let's fast forward. He made chief. He had got into some challenges, but along the way, he still came and asked me for my guidance. He still came when he had some problems, personal problems, when he needed advice about what kind of degree he wanted to get. He came to me. Well, I continued to follow him. I've asked him to volunteer in a nonprofit organization because he was singing, creating music, and I wanted him to come and potentially we had the Hampton Roads Got Talent show, and he was a talent in the Hampton Roads area. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this video today is because each of us that have in the military have what we call leadership skills. These leadership skills are skills that are taught during the time that we started in boot camp. And my mentee, I learned today that as I'm checking in on him, that he quit his good government job. And now he's doing him full time. And the thing that he's doing full time is something that I referred him to. Something that I gave a little spark, or I poured a little bit of igniting fluid on it, and he ran with it. And that is reselling. I been in a coaching program with the flea market flippers. They showed us their framework, and I shared that with him, and he just kind of ran with it. And so I'm sharing this today because I just think that all too often we think that we need a good government job, but as we know, there's a 240 some percent federal and contract job loss as of February. And so we need to figure out other ways to make money without someone else being in control of it. And the way that we can make money without someone else being in control of it is we turn the knowledge, the skills, and abilities that we have into income. We look at our income generating capabilities, which is the things that we learn, the things that we're passionate about, things that we went to school, our master's, our undergraduate degree, and monetize those. Someone in the world of this amazing world will pay you for your skills if you package it correctly. And so that is what success after discharge is all about, is how you transition from the military and never ever having to respectfully request your time off again. And so I'm going to be on this channel. I'm going to be sharing what it is I do, how I do what I do. I'm going to be interviewing people. I'm just going to be sharing the same thing that I did when I served, the same thing that I enjoyed when I was serving. I'm going to do that here and stop being afraid of, I don't even know what I'm afraid of. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to just be sharing. So if you want more information, let me just say that they're going to be around, see my board over here, right? So I'm going to be sharing about mental health resources. The Wounded Warrior Project did a survey about 10 years ago, and then they did a survey recently, and the information that they surveyed about women veterans is the same thing, and about the challenges that we have are the same things that we're still having challenges with today. So I don't know what it is or why it's the way it is, but I do know that there are resources out there that will help in these areas, and one of them is mental health. The other one is access to care. Now, we already know that the federal government this administration is doing all of these firings. And just recently, I live here in the Jacksonville area, Northern Virginia area, and the NAS Jax ER is no longer 24 hours a day. It has gone down to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's 12 hours. So if you have an emergency, that is the only time that you're going to be able to, your emergency is going to be able to be treated. And this is unfortunately, especially for those that are on active duty, especially for those that don't have any additional health care and they use the emergency room, the military emergency room. But hey, there are other ways to get care. And if it's out there, if it's free to veterans, I'm going to be sharing it here on this site. The other one is financial wellness. Guess what? I just talked about it. Every one of us that has served in the military have leadership skills. We have resilience. We have all of that. You could take all of that, package it all, and sell it, coach people, teach it, do retreats. If you want to be in the traveling, there are ways that you can package these things that you have learned, the things that they've ingrained in us, which is leadership skills, how to overcome, how to adaptability, right? These are skill sets that are the reason why the federal government initially had hiring authorities that allowed us to get in. And there was a reason why there were hiring authorities put in place in the first place. However, what we know now is that you cannot depend on one income. You have to have multiple streams of income, because just like some of my fellow federal folks just lost their job. What are they doing? Well, what I would advise you to do is whatever you did when you were serving, when you were in the federal government, you can monetize that, and it's all in how you package it. The other one is social health, right? And social health means that we miss the camaraderie we had when we went to work in the morning and we did our PT and things of that nature, and the little chants that we did, the high fives, the morning, the quarter muster, the plan of the day, reading to your troops or getting heard what was going on. It wasn't a me mentality, it's a we mentality. And so we miss that. And that's something that they ingrained in us from the day that we either went to boot camp or the day that we went to officer indoctrination school. So social health is another challenge that women veterans have when they're transitioning. And I don't know about you, but when I went to transition, even transition assistant program, it was a fire hose of information. And most people go to transition assistance class when they've already made the decision. By then, sometimes I think that it's too late. I think you need to go to transition assistance to kind of get a feel of whether you're ready to either retire or whether you're able to transition. But hey, we have now someone that is the Secretary of Defense that doesn't even believe in inclusivity, believe in women should be in the areas that they work so hard from previous administrations to get in. It's a diversity of thought. You cannot have groupthink. Everybody thinking the same thing. So transition assistance, there are programs out there, there are resources, and it's a shitload of resources. And so I'm going to be sharing those resources here on this channel as well. So I'm going to recap. So you got your access to mental health. You got access to care, right? Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. Then you have financial wellness, right? Finances, of veterans, women veterans are the highest percent of homelessness. Why? Because most women have kids that they're taking care of. There are a few men, single fathers, but the majority and what the data says is women. So you have that financial wellness. And so I'm gonna help you come up. I have frameworks around that. I'm gonna be sharing it here. And then you have the the military transition. So again, that's the mental health, access to care, social connectivity, military transition, and financial wellness. All right. So I hope that you find that you subscribe, that you hit the notification button, and that you comment and that you share what it is that you have struggles with. And if I have the resources or if I have the information, I am going to share. I believe that I am placed here to be an encourager. I believe that I'm placed here to provide and be a resource. So I hope you get it. I hope you got it. And I definitely hope that you're good.